Hello, fellow wanderers. My name is Sarah, founder of Big Soul Healing, and I'm here with my co host, Joy from Astronaut of Life.
And this is the Seventh House Podcast. Sarah and I are astrological twinsies. We both have our North Node in Gemini, you guessed it, in the seventh house. We are here to talk. Literally, that's what the seventh house is about. And we're here to talk about all things spiritual and bring the wooey into reality. So let's get started.
Yeah. But today we're dabbling in astrology
Yes.
to talk about the name of our podcast, the seventh house, which astrology just finally clicked for me after like 7 years of dabbling. So that was nice. I don't, you know what? I'm looking it up right now. The seventh house is about, well, I gotta find it. There it is.
I just know what it is. Do you want me to?
Yeah, I want you to just say it. Yeah.
Just say it? So the seventh house is, or actually, I know more about the North Node. Why don't you take over for the seventh?
Well, seventh house is the area of one-to-one relationships, such as marriage and partnership, and of social and intellectual action. So cool beans there. Now, Sarah and I found out that we have the exact same placements, maybe not to the degrees, but we both have North Node in Gemini in our seventh house. So we just learned the seventh house is about relationships and social stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, Sarah, why don't you tell everybody what a North Node means?
Yeah, so the North Node, when I discovered this, I was really excited because as somebody who's an intuitive healer, I get asked so often, how do I find my purpose? What is my purpose? When I started dabbling around with astrology and I found this website, we'll tell you guys all about it in a little bit on how to discover this information. But when I discovered this website and I figured out what my North Node was and what my South Node was, it got me really excited because your North Node is all about mastering what your soul has yet to learn and what your soul came here to experience most in this lifetime. So when you're talking about your life purpose, that can be such a broad thing. What am I supposed to do for work? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to approach my social interactions, my relationships? Purpose can be subjective to a lot of people. But when we're looking at our soul's mission and our astrology that's connected to the soul's path and the soul's mission, the North Node will show you what lessons your soul has yet to experience and what your soul came here to look at in this lifetime. Whereas the South Node talks about the opposite. It's what your soul in previous lifetimes and incarnations has already mastered. So if you are one of those people that really wants to know what is my purpose here, the best, easiest way to figure that out is to go into your astrology and check out what your North Node is. And when I discovered this, I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. And then to find out it's in the seventh house, that made even more sense. And then when I found out that Joy and I are both North Node in Gemini under the seventh house, it was like, we should probably do something with this. If this is our life purpose and we share the same goal and mission on a soul level, why don't we do it together? So here we are doing this together on the seventh house podcast.
Yeah. So having the North Node in Gemini without the energy of the house is just for us to learn the impact of our words. Speaking her truth should be done mindfully, or else it may undermine her growth. A balance should be sought. I'm skipping around a little bit. By learning to slow down and take care of business and to live in the present, she is likely to achieve far more happiness and a wonderful sense of inner balance. So this is pointing Sarah and I and anybody else who has this beautiful placement to seek clarification and listening and to pay attention to details. So when you add on another layer, so we have all this in mind, then we added in the 7th house, which is about relationships, right? Both one-on-one and socially. So this is where it kind of, for me, Sarah, and you can say if it does it for you, but it like, I feel that friction with the South Node because, and maybe it is because I'm a Virgo too, a little bit. We're independent. We're independent.
Yeah.
That's our South Node stuff. We've mastered being independent. The lone wolf, the mystic in the woods, the witch, in the hut. We've had the wisdom. We kept it to ourselves, and we live those lives. So when we add the North Node 7th house part, it's like, yeah, if she can cooperate with someone special, it's going to bring success because she can talk to them. The goal should be to involve others more and to build diplomacy and cooperation so as to gain perspective and share the load. Her path is to listen to others instead of falling back on her automatic response to do everything on her own and call the shots. So we're here to learn cooperation, harmony, and finding the middle ground. So when you think back on your life, can you see your growth arc from like South Node energy? Obviously, we both have podcasts, and we both kind of started when we met in like 2021. We started moving more into that North Node energy. But what about from your past? Did you see when you look back now and reflect?
Yeah, when it comes to being independent, when I was a little kid, earlier in my life, I spent a lot of time either just with my best friend or by myself. If I wasn't with my best friend, I was usually alone, either in the hospital or at my house, hanging out in my bedroom by myself. I was always very, very comfortable doing things by myself that lit me up. I did have an older sister, and her and I were fairly close as well, but she was a little bit older. So even if she was home, like I spent time, I just was by myself and I was okay with that. And there was a couple of people that I knew growing up that always needed to be around someone. And that just, that didn't compute for me. I was like, well, you can't be by yourself. What do you mean? Like, nobody's ever left you alone before? Like, are you not? Is that why? Like, so even when I was young, I was confused by people who always needed to have that connection, that, you know, validation, what have you, from other people. Whereas with me, it was like I felt safe alone. And I felt safe with my best friend too, but I didn't really like other people very much.
You know what? I had a similar obvious experience because we have these placements, but for me, I'm the oldest child and I have a younger brother. And all I remember when I was very little was I just wanted to play by myself. It was way more fun to play by myself. Like you said, it lit me up to just do whatever I wanted to do. And that's lack of cooperation there. And my brother was one of those people you mentioned who just didn't want to be alone. He just didn't want to be alone. And it drove my mom crazy. And so she'd be like, please play with your brother. Just please for an hour, play with him. And I could tell a lot of stories of myself. Ways I entertain myself with my little brother, but I won't dive into that. But they are funny. But we're calm now, so we're gonna keep our calm energy. But yeah, as I grew up, and he did too, obviously, I learned to play with him more. We were brother and sister. We were only 15 months apart, so there was a lot of clashes, but by like, I don't know, the end of childhood, we got along great. In high school and everything, we had shared friend groups, but we went to a very small school. But yeah, it's even in adulthood, I like high school and up, I only had like maybe 2 or 3 friends. I really didn't seek being popular. I wanted approval probably back then, but not maybe from my parents and not so much my peers, which might be a little bit, I don't want to say abnormal, but like I know other people care a lot about that, right? I don't know. Probably boys. I wanted boys' attention. But that was it, I guess. And that's played out pretty much until recently. I personally had an arc of going from like an INFJ to an ENFJ. And I took that test in high school. I was an INFJ for like, I don't know, well, till now. And this year I took the test and I actually am more extroverted now. So I shifted how I energize myself. And I think I'm actually, do they call it an ambivert? I think I'm more one of those, if I'm fairly honest, because
What is, for the listeners that don't know, what is INFJ?
I'm sorry. Now that's a whole other, that's not astrology. That is called the Myers-Briggs personality test. And
Okay.
I think, yeah, we can put the link down there too if we want. As well as like with the astrology charts to get, and you can check it out for free. Usually you probably already have a good idea if you're introverted or extroverted, but it can tell you like percentage wise how technical it is. I don't know. Do with it what you will, right?
Yeah.
So, well, what do you know about Gemini? Sorry, I'm like going back to that.
Gemini is really interesting because it is the sign of the twins, the duality sign. Gemini can also represent the shadow and the light of a person, the dual personalities, the masculine, the feminine, the light, the dark. And it is the one body, two sides, essentially. And it's I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know that it is representative of the two sides of things, the twins, the multi layers of a person on dark and light. So
How interesting. And then that's communication for us.
So if you think that, it's like poor communication, not listening, interrupting, speaking over people, not choosing words that adequately or accurately express what you're trying to say, and stumbling over your words, mumbling, maybe not talking loud enough, not projecting your voice loud enough so that you can actually be heard, keeping things in when you should be speaking. Whereas when you're on the lighter side of communication, the not shadow, you speak freely. You know when to give pause for others to speak. You don't speak over people. You don't interrupt. You know how to choose your words wisely. You don't speak up when it's completely unnecessary or untrue. And you find ways to empower yourself and others with your words rather than cutting people off and cutting people down. So.
I'm going to share this because this happened to me a lot as a child. Obviously, I have a soft voice, right? Projection is not my thing when it comes to my voice. And my little brother was very loud, and he was a little boy, right? All over the place. I don't know if it would have been my south node, or maybe you can just help me map this out, Sarah.
Mhm.
Because anytime I felt, not anytime, but as a child, when I did try to speak up and share something, I would get talked over or nobody would listen because I'm not projecting, right? So yeah, that would fall in the shadow, like you said. And what it led to was I just won't say anything, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen, I'll just be quiet and keep it to myself. And that was the coping mechanism I used for that.
Yeah. I'm glad that you brought that up because I remember when you and I first met, when we came together for the Guides of Gaia, you actually taught me how to be more aware of giving space for other people to speak because I was very boisterous. I was loud. I had a lot of big ideas and things that I wanted to say, and I was an interrupter. I would just I don't. You're not done talking, but what I have to say is so much more important right now because if I don't say it right now, I'm going to forget. And I would just talk over you. And I remember you actually came to me at one point in the group and said, I have a really hard time and I shut down when people do that. And it made me actually think more and be more present with everybody else's energy in the group rather than just interjecting what I thought needed to be said. And I was always kind of in this mode of, it's okay, I can just talk in conversation, we just flow, and whatever I say, like we can just, like, we'll just change the conversation into whatever I have to say, or it'll just flow naturally, and it's okay, people won't get upset because we're just talking. But then you made me realize that some people actually can't handle that and will shut down, and the voices that I wanted to hear and work with were becoming less and less available to me because I was shutting them down without realizing it. And because you came to me with that, and you and I were in that opposite range, right? You were shutting down and I was interrupting. We're both in a shadow of conversational energy, but in a different way. And your shadow taught me how to balance my shadow more. And I actually became a better listener and a better group speaker and space holder because you brought that to my attention. So,
Well, you know what? I don't know if I remember doing that. So I believe you.
well, you did, and it made an impact.
I love that my shadow still gave you a lesson. Like,
Yeah.
that's so
Your
cool.
shadow put my shadow in place, and I was like, oh, damn, I'm being a dick. Like, I'm not like, I love Joy and I want to hear what she has to say, but because I keep cutting her off, she's not having fun with this conversation. I might be having fun and I think we're just going back and forth, but I'm unknowingly interrupting her and I'm not giving her space to finish her thought and it's making her shut down. And I don't want to make my friends shut down. So I need to reel it back a little bit and give Joy space to finish speaking. And because you put that in my attention, it trickled out into other conversations in my life and other communication in my life. And I actually became a far better listener because you brought that to my attention. So
Well, you know what?
I love how that worked without us even, I didn't even dawn on me that that happened until you brought it up. I'm like, that made me a better fucking listener. I'm like, damn.
But Sarah, your interrupting taught me something
Okay.
years later, but it still taught me. Not that you were interrupting me then. I think we were just talking about interrupting.
Mm.
I want to clarify that. She's moved on, everybody. She's amazing to talk to, as you can now witness. But I remember being in a conversation, maybe it was with you, and we'll say it was for this podcast because it came to mind with you, so we'll stick with that. And maybe we were in a group and somebody interrupted me. And instead of having that reaction, I talked about my shadow where it was just like, fine, I'll, take over, apparently you need to be heard, right? There was a reorientation in my mind, the way I viewed it. And it was like, oh, they feel safe enough to express themselves in my space, in my energy. And they're like, I don't want to take that excitement away. Now, also, yeah, you interrupting is not cool, and you should also let me finish and then share your joy, right? But it took away the sting,
Hmm.
and it took away the personalization of it, because
Yeah.
they're not meaning it personal, right? That's was the real root of it. It felt personal, like, "Ooh, we don't give a fuck what you say, Joy. We're gonna just run over you," right? And I literally physically can't yell over people. So I like, for me, it was like, what can I do? I have to just accept. And it, yeah, it was like, I'll just shut them all out. Apparently I'm not worth their time. Like, I would go down that road,
Yeah.
which I haven't done in quite a while, which is beautiful for myself. But I do remember having those emotions, and that reframe, I think it happened sometime last year, probably in our women's circle group, where it was like, oh, they're just so in my energy that they're just so happy they want to share. And I do want to encourage that. It's just, yeah. So it's so cool how it all just flows.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I also wrote down, like, how do we integrate this in your life? So North nodes can be all about all sorts of things, right? Like, you have a creative project, you need to get in the spotlight, you need to be in community, you need to learn to speak up, like Sarah and I, and use that voice in a mindful way with discernment. You have to go check it out yourself and
Yeah.
see what yours is. But obviously, we'll stick with ours because we share them. So, how, as the example, how have you now learning this North Node? Obviously, we've created a podcast where we're talking to each other and we're sharing our wisdom and insight with each other and others. But in your just daily life, Sarah, how have you integrated these North Node things?
Well, I know firstly with the conversation style that I am bringing recently, just integrating all of the shadow aspects of how I communicate. Where am I communicating well? Where could I use some help? And learning, I even have a book that I read a couple of times called Crucial Conversations. Really, really good book on how to speak, how to be heard, how to get your point across without being aggressive, or how to be assertive instead of aggressive with big topics, how to bring up difficult topics. So leaning into the integration, it was like, how can I become a better communicator, and how can I take that into community and be less, do it on my own, and like use my words to create safety and community so that I can receive from others what I need, and I can give what the group needs from me. So this also trickles down into the women's circle that I created. And because it's also about independence and community, I am the host of the women's circle, but one of the things that I like to do in the women's circle is give space for all the other women to bring their gifts and practices that they love most to the table, and be the host when they feel they have something that they want to bring, and being okay with giving up that spotlight, giving up the control, giving up that independence. This is my circle and I'm the host. This is our circle. How can we all work together to make it awesome and comfortable and welcoming and enjoyable to be in? And just working with this stuff has really helped me to become a better space holder in community events like that, and to give space to other people instead of making it all about me and what I know, and what I need. It's about everybody and working with everybody. I'm also in a space right now with my current housemate where he grew up in Spain, where you do something with somebody else all the time. Everything is a joint venture in Spain. You don't ever leave the house by yourself. You're just always with a person. You're with your person, whether it be your partner, your best friend, your brother, your sister, your family member. In Spain, everything is done together because it just makes it more enjoyable to do it with somebody. Whereas, and he's constantly bringing that energy to my life. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. And I'm like, ugh, I just want to do it on my own. Can you leave me alone? Like, I don't want help. I don't want your ideas interfering with my ideas. So that's my shadow aspect that I'm working with my current living situation, because before living with him, I did live on my own and I was doing everything by myself. I had just gotten out of the hospital and I was in a wheelchair learning how to walk again. And I was living by myself, doing everything on my own. And now I live with him and I'm finding myself like, oh, I'm letting him help me a lot. And like, I'm letting him do all the things that I was doing on my own. And I was okay with that. And I'm learning really well in this situation how to work with somebody who just always wants to work with somebody when I always just want to work by myself, but then sometimes bring people in. So it's like I'm realizing the universe put this karmic situation in my face to be like, you're going to figure this community stuff out. You're going to figure out how to work with someone. You're going to figure out how to work with someone who has a totally different communication style than you, that
Yeah.
has a lot of traumas and a lot of things going on that still need to be sorted through, whereas you've already worked through all that stuff, and that might be frustrating for you to deal with on a daily basis, but you still got to figure that out, because this person really wants to work with you, and he's very helpful, and he's very kind, and he's very sweet, and he just wants to keep giving and being in community and in cooperation, where I'm like, just let me do it myself. So I feel like the universe has kept me in this karmic situation because I still have some stuff to learn about my own shadows in working with community and knowing when it's time to lean on independence and when it's time to lean on others. So as frustrating as it can be sometimes, I'm also very grateful for the situation because this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
That's my purpose. And thank you for fulfilling it for me and with me, even though sometimes I get so mad.
Oh, I hear that. I hear that.
How about you, Joy?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm an extrovert now, so it's a little different. I actually enjoy talking to people. What I'm still learning to navigate is how to bring them together in community. Now I can lead, like a group meditation or things like that. Like you said, if I'm leading it, that's actually my comfort zone, right? Probably for you too.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. I don't know.
I
We have a
gotta
lot of
slow
leadership
that
skills.
too, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah, but I'm actually like starting to enjoy letting other people, like you said, take over. And it's like, no, I'm not in charge. Don't look at me. I'm just a participant this time. Actually, it's kind of fun. It takes the load off a little bit, which I know is, and if you don't have this placement, maybe you're like, yeah, duh, but it's like, no, you don't understand. It didn't even occur to my mind to share.
Yeah.
Didn't even cross my mind. There was something else I wanted to dig into, but I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, you said people have different communication styles. I've been meeting a lot of different people all over the globe. And yeah, they definitely have different communication styles. A lot of them are men. And I don't always know what they're saying. I don't. It sounds really smart. And it is really smart. But here's what I've learned to do is to feel the vibration and the energy and like kind of the vibe, you could say, or under the words.
Yeah.
Take that, and this is my feminine energy doing this, right? Take it in and interpret that over the logic. I will repeat what I'm sensing, and then they're like, yeah, that's another way to put it. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I have learned a new way. I can almost like circumvent communication because I'm doing it underneath.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, how? I don't know if I can try to articulate that, but it's more, you just, I don't know. Do you do that? Can you help me try to describe like how?
Yeah. So I've been doing this a lot, especially with the political climate of things that are happening right now. People talk to me about things, and a lot of these things can be very triggering. They have triggered many, many, many people. And I'll go back and, like, let's say it's like some address by Trump or something. Okay. This is like an extreme example. And people are like, oh, did you hear what he said? He's such a racist. And then I'll go and listen to the speech that they're getting this information from. And I'm like, I just invite my triggered parts of myself, the ones that get riled up and social justicey and that have something to say. I ask them, because I'm really familiar with doing parts work. I just kind of imagine all of those parts that might get a little bit antsy, a little bit frustrated, a little bit angry. I imagine them kind of stepping out of the room. And then I just allow myself to listen without judgment. And I set the intention that I'm going to listen to these words without any judgment whatsoever. And then you can actually hear the words that are being said without getting hung up on one sentence or one statement or one thing that might trigger you. And this is probably a little bit different than what you're talking about, but just to be able to feel what the person's actually saying without your emotional stuff getting in the way of that interpretation. It's like hearing the words for what the words actually are instead of feeling the charge of, like, I disagree with that. You can disagree with somebody. I can still listen to what the guy is saying and be like, I don't agree with that, but I don't get as charged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, as most other people would be like automatically calling names and deciding who this type of person is based on that one thing that they said that triggers me. Now, with what you're saying, I imagine that it's more like I don't necessarily understand, but I can feel the intention of the words based on the tone of voice, based on the energy in which the conversation started, the energy of the person that I know so well. And to be able to pick up on the vibe or the frequency of that energy, you might not still fully understand what the person is saying, but you can piece together the I guess like the resonance of
Okay.
like what they're trying to say. So I think I'm explaining that all right. But
Yeah. Well, also
so
for
there's
me,
two different sides of what you're saying, I think, because it's like you could pick up a frequency of something, but if that frequency that you're picking up is based on a charge that you have living inside of you already based on a past trauma, you're not picking up the real frequency of what they're saying. You're picking up the frequency of your charge and projecting that charge onto what they're saying. So they kind of go hand in hand, in my opinion, but it's,
well,
yeah, that's just my take on it. I may be wrong. You can correct me if I got some of that messed up.
okay. Well, this is really cool for us because apparently we're here to listen and be good listeners too. So the fact that we're developing these skills is really beautiful. So
Yeah.
but you and I, Sarah, with the community, we are working on that part too, because once a month we are offering a like Zoom call, right? Where do you want to explain, or you want me to explain it?
You can keep going if you want to, or it's up. Whatever.
Well, you fill in what I leave out. So Sarah does this beautiful ritual, and I lead us in a meditation because that's kind of our sweet spots, each of us, and they vary in topics. We did one like last week, Friday, yeah, and it was about the eclipse. That's today, right? Yeah. Oh no, it was yesterday.
Yeah, we did that yesterday. So we're doing it on the third Saturday of every month.
Yeah.
And that's why we didn't do it on actual eclipse day, because we wanted to do the third Saturday of every month. If there is a cosmic event happening around that time, we will tailor it towards the cosmic event. If not, we're going to just kind of go with the energies and frequencies of what's happening in the universe, on the planet, in the cosmos, and just working with that energy to provide a ritual practice of grounding and meditation and coming back into ourselves in order to be more balanced human being in the world. So that's what we're doing. We're coming together to try to balance each other out, work with this North Node in the 7th house, and provide space for other people to come together in community and
talk to us.
talk to us, connect with us, meditate with us, be in practice with us, and share some of the gifts and talents that we have to offer. Yeah. Instead of hoarding them all to ourselves, which we're really good at.
Yeah. We are moving on. We're moving on to community. Yeah. I did want to touch on something too that you said that was really funny, when you're like, we do better in the leadership role, and it's harder like when we join a group and we're not the one leading. I have funny stories about that. So I had a bunch of shadow stuff come up, and I still do sometimes. But at the beginning of this year or end of last year, I was in a group coaching program from an absolutely lovely IFS parts work practitioner named Andrea Tessier. And I was so excited by this whole program, the whole thing that she was teaching. And there were times where she would be talking and I would just like, I want to say something. And like, I would just get really like, I had to like pull myself back and not say something, because I just wanted to like step in and like join her in the leadership role. But it was her thing. And that happens to me a lot when I'm watching other people host things that I get really excited about the topic. I'm like, I just want to talk, but it's like, oh, it's not my turn. I should say something. I shouldn't say anything, but I just really want to like interject and like join the host role. And like that's something that like I'm working with, I guess. Yeah.
I didn't even notice or realize until I started joining group programs like that was a problem for me. And then I noticed too, a lot of the people in that group, I loved all of them. It was such an awesome group. And but a lot of them were reserved, quiet. And anytime Andrea would ask, hey, does anybody want to share? I'd be like, leave space for other people, leave space for other people. No, nobody's sharing. Okay, me first. And like, she apparently really appreciated that I would always break the ice and open the shares, because I always had some fun stuff to say. But I always thought, I'm like, is it weird to everybody else that I'm always the first person to talk? Like,
I'm sure
but
they're okay with it.
if I didn't, like, what did you say?
I said, I'm sure they're okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were, because like there was always such a long pause. I'm like, is nobody gonna say anything? Like, does it have to be me first again? Are we all just gonna leave Andrea hanging? waiting for somebody to
Oh, I can't stand that.
I couldn't stand it either. I'm like, no, I gotta say something. I'm gonna say it. Like, okay, I'll be first. Like nobody else is going. Okay, I'll be first. I don't like this weird random silence that we're all doing. Like, no, you gotta just break the ice. Let's share. So I was always the first one. And when you said that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so me. Like, not being the host. Sometimes I'm like, it's not your thing. Shut up. Like,
Well, I've definitely had those moments, and you've probably been there for them, where I literally have to cover my mouth,
I've seen you do that.
and because it just wants out so bad, and I know I will forget in probably 15 seconds. And sometimes I do, and then you just gotta let it go. Maybe it'll come back, maybe not. But oh, I feel that. I feel that. I'm probably a little ahead of you there because I'm learning with my nervous system to just relax it.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm a Virgo, and I know one of my shadows in the past that I've overcome is control. I do like to be in control of things, but it's a lot of work in that area. But now it's like, no, I don't need to be in control. Would I do it different? Probably. Probably. Would it be better? Doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter, right? I'm here to enjoy what they are offering. I want to receive it. I actually want to receive it, not reject it. So it's like once like it was not an instant thing. It took practice, right? A mindfulness to get there. But once I did, it was like, oh, this is nice. It's like vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing is expected of me. Yeah, I don't mind being your one person that talks, right? Because I'm used to being the only one that talks and hoping somebody else is going to say something, right? So I get, yeah, no, it's nice. Keep working on that because you'll enjoy it.
I really like that that reframe of like I get to receive this. And that is something that I've been interjecting into my thought patterns and like my beliefs. Like I don't need to always be the one in control of this. Sometimes I get to enjoy the gift of receiving, and in that receiving maybe I'll get to enjoy something that I never knew before. And if I'm always in the lead, it's always just about what I know. But other people have valuable stuff to share as well. And there's beauty in being able to hold space to receive that. So that's definitely a reframe that I have been working with very successfully. I'm less inclined to want to interject and be like, oh, let me also host with you. Let me be in the spotlight, please.
I have my podcast.
What I have to say is so important.
I like how we're bringing back the humor.
Good, right?
You did a good job keeping it calm.
just pet the cat, pet the cat. Yeah, no, we've done pretty good since that wonky intro.
I loved it. I'm keeping it
I did
serious.
too. We were having fun. It was a good time.
Well, you know me, I'm all about being authentic and real, and it's messy. It's messy. I love that we were talking about where we've messed up, right? We're not trying to put on any masks here of like perfection, right?
Yeah,
No.
I'm definitely not perfect. I'm still working on stuff. I'm still a messy human being. Joy's still a messy human being. You can work on it until the day you die and still be a messy human being, and that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's the beauty of the North Node. It just gives you like, hey, head in that direction and you're going to learn stuff.
Yeah.
Or stay in your freaking comfort zone and don't learn shit. Those are your choices, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Both are
and
valid.
it shows, I mean, it's really beautiful how it points to that. So the website that Sarah and I think would probably be the most cohesive to learn about this would be astrocafeastrology.com.
Yeah.
It's free, and you can plug it in, and it'll give you a whole rundown of your
Yeah.
whole chart. And when you scroll to the bottom, near the bottom, because it's an N, you can find your North Node. Another one I would just quickly interject would be to look at your Lilith, and I'm not sure I'm going to say this right. Like your is it Chiron or?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I got it right.
Got it right.
Score. I'm saying that because my Chiron is in the 7th house.
Ooh.
And now I'm trying to find it because it's literally like, well, while I'm looking for it, can you do you mind saying what it's about?
What, the Chiron one?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you know.
I don't know enough about all those extras in astrology yet. I think here I might have mine pulled up. My Lilith is in Pisces, and my
So it's mine. So okay.
what? How do we have so much stuff the same?
Well, I'm sure there's reasons.
And then you said Chiron, right? Where is Chiron?
I don't know if it's on this. I'm scrolling endlessly.
I think it is. I saw.
Is it the top?
This is pretty in depth. So the website is astro.cafeastrology.com, and we'll put the link down below in the description. So if you guys want to check it out, all you have to do is click the link, put in your birth information. If you don't know what time you were born at, that is okay. There is a little toggle button that you can push that just says, I don't know the time. And then it gives you this really in-depth astrology chart, as well as descriptions about what all the symbols, all of the stuff in your chart actually means for you. So it's really, really cool. There's so much stuff here. Like Joy said, it takes a while to sort through. If you want to just start with really understanding your sun, moon, rising, there's an opportunity for you to do that with this. But if you want to go super deep into all the extras like Lilith and Chiron and North nodes and South nodes, houses, all of that stuff, it's all there for you. So it's really comprehensive. There's all of the stuff that you can figure out about your own birth chart, which is really fascinating. It gives you a really amazing in-depth perspective on you as a soul in this body, and what you're here to master and what you're all about. It's pretty cool.
Well, I found Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer, a comet that shows where you'll help others overcome something you struggled with in life. So I actually had to find a different website. So I'm pulling it up now. Mine's in Gemini, yeah, in my 7th house. So for me, okay, this is my wounded healing right there with what I'm trying to learn. So let's just look at this real fast. According to Greek mythology, Chiron was a healer, philosopher, and teacher who ironically could not heal himself. Chiron's placement in the chart can reveal a core wound that may take a lifetime to work through. But don't distress. Our Chiron placement is also our secret power. As we grapple with the pain, we gain wisdom that we can pass to others like a magical salve. In fact, the symbol for Chiron is shaped like a key, since unlocking his powers opens a portal to deep inner peace. So, let me... Yeah. Oh, well. I can't find more, except that mine, yep, is right there in Gemini in the 7th house. So, oh man, I wish I'll have to edit this part out if I can remember what time it is. Okay, maybe 7 o'clock. Like, I can't find it. Sarah, can you find it?
What am I looking for? What do you want me to find?
Stuff about
Chiron. See, I feel like I kept running into Chiron stuff. I'm like, I don't need to.
I know, right?
Now I can't see it anywhere.
Well, it's just so much information. Maybe it's like one of those aspects or something. Maybe I have to cut out all of the color.
That's okay.
Mm.
Venus and Capricorn. Venus. More stuff about Venus. Mercury and Cap.
Mm.
The moon is in the 12th house. About Chiron. And Scorpio with moon. Okay, so I don't think this website doesn't really. That's so weird. I could have sworn there was like a Chiron section in here.
Yeah, me too. But
now it's gone.
Even this other website I found is pretty shitty. So like, but I guess we could talk about Lilith and Pisces. A person can feel uncomfortable or annoyed with people who resist labels, who are not very assertive or ready to take the lead. Denying these very human traits in herself can lead to extreme behavior. Self-acceptance and integration of these traits in moderation can be empowering. So that's Lilith. Black Moon Lilith represents our darker, deeper natures that may be repressed or buried. So Sarah and I both have Lilith and Pisces, right? And we said, yeah, it says when people aren't assertive or don't take the lead, it pretty much annoys us.
Yeah,
because to us, it's like, why the hell not?
Yeah, figure it out.
Just say something. Why
can't you just figure it out? Step up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how much that actually does bother me. It's like, if you aren't the type of person that's ready to like be the leader of your own life and take your power into your own hands, I'm just like, figure it out. Like, I don't want to be judgmental, but that is a part of my chart. And it's like, that is a shadow aspect that I have to work with, because not everybody is ready to do that. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Even though this part of me is like, no, it's not. Figure it out.
Well, I think I digged up some good info on Chiron.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all about wounds. So Chiron in our natal charts points to where we have healing powers as a result of our deep spiritual wounds. We may overcompensate in these areas of life. He's a wounded healer, first must face issues of low self-esteem and feelings of inadequacy to learn to rise above them. And these are deep wounds that are not easy or quick. But once you work through them, the healing power around them, sounds like it actually does say healing powers are potent. I was going to say, it sounds like it's really potent. It does say that.
It's funny because like the more you say this, the more I'm like, I want to get into this.
But yeah, it's so interesting, right? And the good Cafe Astrology has, you just dig around and you can find these articles about Chiron and what they mean in different placements. Well, we know mine's in Gemini. Well, I don't know about yours.
I don't. My Chiron is.
You believe in the power of the mind and the concept of mind over matter, as well as the power of conversation, expressing oneself unapologetically, and so forth, but you don't always practice it. In fact, you can either speak too much or too little, or more likely swing between the two, never feeling entirely comfortable talking, feeling guilty for saying too much or too little, and questioning whether you represent yourself accurately. You're quick to help others with information and advice. So, okay, that actually doesn't sound that bad to me. Besides, I might need to find balance, right? I don't know.
That actually sounds like you and me might have the same eye on this. That sounds familiar.
That sounds familiar.
Familiar to me.
Yeah. Well, let's see what it means in the seventh house, even just for you and I. Even if we want to delete this from the video. In houses. Seventh house. Well, we don't know where yours is, do we? Okay, with Chiron in your seventh house at your core, you champion the belief in seeing all sides of the story and meeting people halfway. This belief in equality is a testament to your profound wisdom about relationships, making you an exceptional counselor. However, despite these powerful beliefs and philosophies, it can be challenging to put them into practice in your own life. For instance, you may find yourself frequently giving more than you receive, even when you are deeply rooted belief in equality. Whoa, yeah, we're deleting this because we know I'm dealing with that. So shit.
Chiron.
Okay, calling me out, Chiron. Calling me out.
Chiron sign table. Chiron sign calculator. Okay. Find the date when Chiron entered your sign. Entered a sign closest to your birthday, looking at the closest date previous to your birthday. So if you were born January 20th, 2004, your Chiron is Capricorn. What? Eh? So I think I'm Chiron and Capricorn.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Do you know which house?
No, I don't understand how to calculate this. It's not very, there's no like thing to put your information in. It's just like telling you. How did you find it?
Well, I went to some other website and found, I actually already knew it was in my seventh house and everything. I think I might have used ChatGPT. That's where I think I learned it from.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like, okay, 1984. What? Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna have to. How did I calculate my cryon? How to calculate your cryon placement. Cryon sign calculator. Okay, let's see. I am female. Give me a sec, I'm calculating.
Do do do. Probably. We're gonna be cutting this out.
Oh, yes. Time of birth was 02:30 in the morning. Continue. Choose a place. Ottawa, Ontario. What? Continue.
Well, I like knowing that I'm already working on my wounded healing stuff. That's encouraging.
That's really good.
I'm still learning, integrating the lessons, but it just happened.
Okay, all of this stuff doesn't matter. 10th house? What sign do you get along with? What? No, just Um, Just show me my Chiron. Asking me so many dumb questions. What sign do you think you'll get along with most? What? Why does that matter? Show me my Chiron. I'm not in control and it's angering me.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so glad you shared. I didn't share shit. Just gave me my crown. 7th house. I'll show you. Okay, great. I know. How should we address you? I guess I'll have to put my name in here. Maybe then. I already know my sun and moon. No. Stupid. RHC .com. I'm not giving you 50 cents. Go away. All of that for nothing. How to find your crown placement. All right, here we go. 26 January 1984.
84.
2 a.m.
Such a cool year.
The
Not that I remember it.
best year ever.
Best year ever. We are experts about that because we existed that year.
Calculate.
Never mind us being babies.
Oh, I am Cryon Taurus in the 7th house.
Oh, snap.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you Taurus if your other things is... Well, sometimes it's half and half, right?
Well, I don't know. It's just that's what it says.
Well, 7th house, Chiron. I'll just read
Oh,
on.
no, wait. It's in EST. I fucking... Oops, I put the wrong time in. I didn't realize it was EST. Edit birth data. So if it's in PST, that means I was... No, I was born at 2:30 a.m. EST. Was in EST. I don't live in Ottawa anymore, so it's confusing me. There we go. Yeah, Taurus. What? That's all you're going to tell me? You're not going to tell me anything about it?
What is it in Taurus?
Oh, here we go. Healing is your super. Where did it come from? Yeah, it's Taurus in the 7th house.
Well, I can read you about the 7th house.
Okay.
And then I'll look up your Taurus part. With Chiron in your 7th house, at your core, you champion the belief and seeing all sides of a story and meeting people halfway. I think I already read that part, right? Relationships, especially one-on-one, committed, or partnership connections, provide you with much inspiration if they can and they can often be the area of great transformation and important life lessons. Interpersonal conflicts can cause anxiety, guilt, or emotional crisis in your life. The ups and downs of your connections ultimately shape your empathy and broad perspective on relationships in general. You bring a unique perspective to partnerships, one that doesn't readily conform to the status quo, expectations, or traditions you grew up with. You have an attraction to and a tendency to attract partners and relationships that others might see as unusual or needing repair. The damaged or the underdog can be appealing. Healing themes often dominate your closest one-to-one relationships, such as best friendships or marriages. However, it's important to be mindful of being in the position of a stepping stone for others one too many times. This can happen if others learn from you and move on to apply what they've learned in new relationships. You have much to offer, but it's crucial to maintain balanced partnerships rather than allowing relationships to become more about learning experiences than a true give and take. Even outside of your partnerships, you often find yourself in the role of a counselor, guiding others to be their best or providing them with a valuable perspective and insight. This is a testament to your innate ability to understand and empathize with others, and it's a role you can embrace and excel in. So cool beans. Now you said in Taurus?
Yeah, this website that I'm on is weird because it's like Cryon in Taurus or second house. So I don't know. At the top it said
Oh,
seventh house. Now it's saying second house. So I don't know. This website's kind of janky too.
well, I already went off that page.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna read your Taurus because at least that seems to be sticking.
yeah,
Let's see. It says you may very well hold on to guilt for enjoying material things, comfort, luxury, and so forth. In your head, you know you're entitled to spoil yourself from time to time, but it's hard to truly convince yourself of this deep down. You're wonderful at helping others understand that they're worth it, however. Whether you compensate by over and under indulging, you're likely holding on to too much guilt. Your needs for security and safety run very deep, and sometimes they work against you if you're not careful. Does that sound like you, Renee?
not really. So a little bit, but
No, I get that.
yeah. Like there's some parts that sound accurate.
For me, the Gemini one sounds more like you. But that might be because of the North Node too. Like you
Yeah.
either talk too much or too little, or you go too much, or
Yeah.
feeling guilty you didn't say enough, or you said too much.
So
Pushing whether you represented yourself correctly.
this actually sounds pretty on point. The Taurus and the second house one.
Okay.
Stubborn resistance to and or fear of change, following the flock instead of forming your own values and beliefs. That one, not as much, like at all. Addiction to comforts like eating and drinking, not really. Materialism, money struggles, that's accurate. So the resistance and the materialism, yeah, money struggles. Healing gifts, creating serene environments. Yep, I'm good at that. Savvy financial planning. Yeah, I'm decent at planning for finances. Holding down the fort during turbulent times. Calm in the storm. Practical magic. Teaching, modeling traditional wisdom. So that sounds pretty accurate.
I don't know, sir. I don't think I'm gonna use this Chiron stuff.
Yeah, probably not the best idea. Do you remember what we were talking about before we started talking about the Chiron stuff?
No. Not at all.
All right. Well, if you
Maybe I'll
want,
put like a black screen that was like, we went down a tangent for 50 years.
a few moments later,
Yeah, a few moments later.
that like SpongeBob scene. A few moments later. All right, we're back.
Well, how do we want to end? Do we want to say a little thing or?
Yeah, we can say a little like thank you for joining. Check out the links below for more information about the stuff we talked about.
Yeah.
Gosh, okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This was so fun. Sarah, I cannot wait till next month. We make one episode a month. We are easing into this. We both have other stuff going on.
Yes.
But thank you for listening. All the links are at the bottom. Check them out. We'll also have links for me and Sarah and the things we offer together and separately. And we hope you join us next time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe.